In Havenwood, Kansas, nights are usually peaceful, until the night Elizabeth Goodin vanished. The wind whispered through wheat fields, stars shining above, but a single phone call shattered the calm. Elizabeth, a young woman with a quiet life, disappeared without a trace. Her family was left waiting, the police baffled, and the town changed overnight. Doors were locked, neighbors grew wary, and the familiar became strange. The disappearance was a puzzle with too many missing pieces: a girl, a phone call, an open window. Havenwood's sense of safety was gone, replaced by questions no one could answer. Where did Elizabeth go? Why did she leave? Who was waiting outside her window? The search for answers would haunt the town for years. This is a story about absence, a missing daughter, an empty chair, a silent phone. For the Goodin family, Elizabeth's absence became a constant ache. The wound never healed, the mystery never faded. As we look back, we'll examine the facts, the clues, and the final hours of Elizabeth's known existence. Maybe, just maybe, we can shed light on the darkness that swallowed her whole. In Havenwood, the unthinkable happened, and it changed everything. The silence that fell that night still echoes, and the question remains: what really happened to Elizabeth Goodin? Elizabeth Goodin was 22, a homebody who lived with her parents on a quiet street. She worked at the local library, loved books, and cherished her small circle of friends. Her life was simple, steady, and by all accounts, happy. She dreamed of becoming a teacher, saving money for college. Friends described her as loyal, dependable, and content. There were no signs of trouble, no secret relationships, no debts, no hidden past. Her days followed a predictable routine: work, family dinner, quiet evenings. On the night she disappeared, nothing seemed unusual. She finished her shift, ate with her family, and went to her room. Her diary spoke only of everyday joys and plans. No hint of fear, no sign of distress. That's what makes her disappearance so baffling. She wasn't someone who would just walk away. Something, or someone, pulled her from her life. The night was cool and clear when the phone rang after 1 a.m. Elizabeth's mother, Martha, heard her daughter answer in the hallway. The conversation was hushed, urgent. Martha caught fragments. "What are you talking about?" And "How can you see that from there?" The last words Martha heard: "Okay, wait, I'm coming to the window." The phone clicked back into its cradle and silence returned. Martha, half asleep, thought little of it. But that call became the heart of the mystery. Who was on the other end? What did they say to draw Elizabeth to her window? The caller knew her room, her habits, and how to lure her out. Did Elizabeth see someone waiting in the shadows below? The window faced a dark backyard and woods, easy for someone to hide. The voice on the phone held a strange power, and what happened next remains unknown. That call is the key to the puzzle, but it's a key that's never been found. Morning came, and Elizabeth's absence was the first sign something was wrong. Her mother called upstairs. No answer. Elizabeth's room was empty, the bed neatly made, the window slightly open. Her purse, keys, and wallet were untouched. A frantic search revealed nothing. Her car was still in the garage, her belongings left behind. No signs of struggle, no forced entry, just a pristine room and a missing girl. The only clue: the open window and the silence that filled the house. It was as if she'd vanished into thin air. The police found no evidence of violence or escape. The doors were locked from the inside. It looked as if Elizabeth had left willingly, but why and with whom? She disappeared into the night in her pajamas, leaving behind everything she'd need. The scene was unsettling, the questions endless. For the Goodins, the nightmare had just begun. The town would never be the same. And Elizabeth was gone. By noon, police were at the Goodin house, baffled by the scene. Elizabeth didn't fit the profile of a runaway or an abduction victim. Interviews with family, friends, and co-workers revealed no motive for her disappearance. The late-night phone call was the only lead. Phone records showed nothing. The call was untraceable. It could have been from a payphone or something more sophisticated. The search expanded. Volunteers combed fields and woods, Search dogs lost her scent at the road. It seemed she'd gotten into a vehicle, but whose? National alerts went out, her face appeared on news reports, but every lead fizzled. The investigation stalled. No suspects, no evidence, no motive. The Goodins kept her room untouched, hoping for her return. The police never closed the case, but it grew colder with each passing year. The silence in Havenwood deepened. The mystery only grew. Elizabeth's disappearance became a haunting presence, and the search for answers continued. In the absence of answers, theories flourished. Some believed Elizabeth ran away, but why leave without money or a car? Others suspected abduction, a predator who lured her out with the phone call. Maybe it was someone she trusted, explaining the lack of struggle. Another theory, a secret accomplice helped her escape, but could she really fool everyone? Stranger ideas emerged. Paranormal whispers, ghost stories, the untraceable call and the pristine room fueled wild speculation. Logic failed, and the fantastic crept in. The town was left with rumors, not answers. Theories multiplied, but none fit perfectly. The truth remained elusive, the case became legend, and the questions only deepened. Decades have passed, but Elizabeth's story lingers in Havenwood. New families live in the town, but the memory of the missing girl endures. The Goodin house stands empty, her parents are gone, never knowing what happened. The case is cold, but not forgotten. Occasionally a detective revisits the file, hoping for a breakthrough. Advances in technology offer hope, but without evidence, the mystery remains. What really happened to Elizabeth? Did she run away, fall victim to a predator, or vanish with a secret lover? We're left to wonder, piecing together fragments and forming our own conclusions. The silence of that night still echoes. Sometimes people just vanish, leaving only questions behind. Elizabeth became a ghost in her own story, a whisper in the heartland. Her mystery endures, a reminder that not all stories have answers. And in Havenwood, her absence is still felt, a quiet echo on the wind.